Good evening, Stacy from Connecticut. God bless you, Paulette from Orlando, Florida. Good evening, everyone, as you're coming in. Like and share this tonight. Let me know what city or state that you are from. Welcome to Real Talk with Cindy. Come on in. Come on in. God bless you. Auntie Sue from South Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina. Maya, welcome. Philadelphia is in the house. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Cindy R. Barber. And if also if you'd like to be a blessing to Real Talk, my information is on the bottom of the screen. I'm so glad to have everybody with me on tonight. Blessings and honor to all of you, for this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have everybody here with us on tonight. My guest is here, and I'm going to bring him on. Good evening, Richard Tubbs Smith. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good evening, Dr. Barber. How are you?
Good. So glad to have you with me on tonight.
The pleasure is all mine.
So we're going to get started, and I want you to begin to share, because there's a lot of people that may not know who you are. So begin to share who you are, where you're from, and your music journey. And then I have some more questions for you.
No problem at all. Well, I'm so glad you have my full name on there because a lot of people think my real name is Tubbs, and that's not the case. That has been my nickname from my parents
Mm-hmm.
because their favorite show was Miami Vice, and
Oh,
their character was Ricardo Tubbs, and I guess
really?
they want me to have the personality of Ricardo Tubbs, so they gave me
Right.
that name. But
Wow.
when I meet people and they hear my name is Tubbs, they always say, "Oh, let me guess, you didn't like to take baths when you were a baby." I said, "No, that has nothing to do with it."
Wow.
Well, were you always fat when you were young? Is that why you got that name, Tubbs? No, that has nothing to do with it, and I have to
Wow.
explain so much. So thank
Mhm.
you for putting my full name on there.
Yeah, I think that's important to have your full name.
Yes, I appreciate you. Thank you for thinking of me.
Not,
Uh,
not a problem.
and Tubbs is not my last name too. I get that a lot. 'Cause my social media sometimes only says Richard Tubbs, so they think,
Oh, okay.
oh, Tubbs too. Yeah, I know your family. No, my last name is Smith actually. So
Right. Absolutely.
totally different part of the world. So don't compare
Yeah.
anybody else, please.
Right.
I try to take care of my good name because
Mm-hmm.
according to the scriptures, that
Mm-hmm.
desired and is worth more than silver and gold. So
That's right.
I'm taking care of my name.
That's it.
Well, uh, I was born and raised in South Jersey, a little town called Mays Landing, not
Mm-hmm.
too far from Atlantic City. I
Mm-hmm.
lived here all my life. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like every other musician and aspiring actor, I definitely wanted to move to Los Angeles.
Really?
But God
Yeah.
said no.
Right. Right.
Hence why I'm still here serving the Lord with gladness.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I was born in the church and I stayed there. Glory to
Mm.
God, by His grace.
Praise God.
Playing the drums at 3. Uh,
Mm.
my grandfather was the pastor, and
Okay.
my dad was the organist.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I just picked up the drums naturally. It just felt right. I was
Right.
banging on pots and pans and different tools around the house since I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
1 and 2. So by the time I
Right.
was 3, I was able to keep tempo in
Mm-hmm.
a good enough way that the people in church wouldn't turn around and give me the angry face and tell me.
To stop. Because they can do that.
Oh, they will. I understand. I don't blame them.
Mm-hmm.
I turned 10. I felt the need to play organ. My dad was going into ministry, and
Mm-hmm.
his younger brother, my uncle Robert, was going into production.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't in church as often. He was more in the studio and traveling to other states and countries to do professional work with artists. So
Mm-hmm.
they would sometimes try to find the substitute to play the organ while my dad preached or taught or
Mm-hmm.
handled something with the service, and I was on the
Mm-hmm.
drum. I felt like it's not right,
Yeah.
not right. So I need to learn how to do it so I can
Mm-hmm.
handle it. And people prayed for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I got my little Yamaha keyboard with 49 keys and practiced and played all the songs that was on my heart and made
Wow.
and
Wow.
the Lord blessed. And I
Mm-hmm.
uh, being the full time organist at the church once I turned 16.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I was
Wow.
I was always playing at other churches on other days when I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't in service at my father's church. We are a Pentecostal commandment keeping church, so our
Mm-hmm.
are on Friday night and Saturday. So
Oh,
that
okay.
Sunday to
Yeah.
play ministries,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
my home church obligations.
Right. I hear
So
you.
how I started off, and
Mm-hmm.
through playing with local groups and local choirs, I started meeting other musicians and
Mm-hmm.
started developing a passion for music outside of church. And
Mm-hmm.
I got the desire to play for Mary Mary once I found out one of my friends, Johnny Smurf Smith,
Yes. Yeah.
uh, the Pensacola, Cherry Hill, Camden area. He was
Yeah.
playing with them, and I
Mm-hmm.
met him, and I said, oh my, I'm so close. I can feel it. I want to go on tour with Mary Mary. I never told him that. I just let that be known between me
Right.
and the Lord. I told a couple of friends, touring
Mhm.
is a passion.
Yeah.
And one day, Smurf called me up and said, "Hey, man, the organist is going on tour with these other artists, and
Mm-hmm.
we play along well. We did Doxa, the New Jerusalem Temple of the Living God mass
Yeah.
choir recording together.
Yes.
I,
Yes.
I like the way he played. We played that album together, and
Right.
we started playing services together. And he was like, "Yeah, we could tour together. Come on, why don't you play this Mary Mary show with me?" And I
Wow.
said, Would you look at God? He's a prayer
Right.
God.
Yes. And nobody
Yeah,
knew but you and God.
that's it. That's it.
Mhm.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Wow.
Through that connection, I
Hmm.
met so many musicians, artists, producers from the
Hmm.
gospel industry to the secular entertainment and all the above. It all happened.
Hmm.
Uh, Having the desire, developing it, staying prayerful, staying
Right.
consistent, and not
Hmm.
wavering on my convictions and my commitments to God and my church family.
Right.
He has blessed
Yeah.
me to
Hmm.
travel the world and see
Hmm.
a lot of dreams come true without
Hmm.
to sell out or even voice it out loud. I can
Right.
say a prayer to God and He can make it happen just like that.
Right. Hmm. Wow.
That's been my musical journey. I've been
Hmm.
touring and working on projects of local artists as well as national artists. And
Right.
I'm still the same person that you'll see in Walmart,
Yeah.
uh, something for my mom, or
Hmm.
handling business at church. I'm the first one
Right.
there, last one to leave every
Right.
Saturday.
Right. Yes.
I give him glory.
Yeah. But see your faithfulness to your church. You know, when God honors faithfulness, and a lot of times musicians are not faithful to their commitment. You know,
Hmm.
they happen here, there, and everywhere. But
Yeah.
being faithful to your church, God opens doors to those that are faithful to Him,
Oh,
and
very
that you know, and they have to understand that. And many times, you know, they don't. You know, they don't understand. I see Gary Diggs is on here tonight.
big
Uh,
brother Gay.
yes, and
Woo.
someone says it sounds like favor to me.
Hello. Favor ain't fair.
That's right. And then sometimes I feel like favor is fair.
Uh-oh. When
You
you know
know?
what I've been through. Mm.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
When
ma'am.
you've been through some things, yeah, you begin to know, yeah, it's my time. It's my time for favor. You
Yes.
know, and I think with musicians understanding that, musicians, singers, being faithful to your church, faithful to that pastor, and then
Hmm.
God will open up the doors for you. And
Yes, ma'am.
also prayer.
Yes, ma'am.
Prayer. How many? I'm going to ask you some questions that I just marvel on your Facebook page. Um, your quotations and your incitement and your wisdom that you have on your page on certain. I just said, wow, this sounds like for sure a book to me. I just
Mm.
read it over and over again. It's definitely um, have has encouraged me. But let's start off with I wrote down quite a few things, but we're going to talk about um, God's many ways of answering prayer.
My God.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Mm, 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 mm. Well, mm, a lot of times people mistakenly by
Hmm.
they hear what their pastor has said and take
Hmm.
as the only way it can be done, or they take what their parents have said and
Hmm.
believe that that's the only way that God works.
Right.
But
Right.
once you've been around some people, once you've been to different places and experienced life for yourself, you
Hmm.
understand that God is too grand and too
Hmm.
big to be confined to our simple understanding.
Yeah.
He can
Hmm.
use whatever he wants to and whatever he needs to get a message across. And there's plenty of scripture to back it up. He used a donkey to speak, he
Hmm.
used sinners, he
Hmm.
used nature, he used
Hmm.
prophets, and he used
That's
e-
right.
enemies. So
That's right.
just
Amen.
fine.
That's good. Yes, that's good. And also, you were saying that closed doors that lead to dark moments and open those new ones that look bright. I
Mm,
love that. Elaborate on that.
my.
Closed doors that lead to dark moments and open those new ones that look bright.
Mm. Well, sometimes it's as simple as your focus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're so focused on this door being the answer to your prayer,
Mm-hmm.
and you see a crack or you see some type of opening, and you're ready to walk through it, and then you
Mm-hmm.
get to realize it's closed, it won't open,
Right.
or it have been something that was working for you before, and all of a sudden it's
Mm-hmm.
shut off.
Right.
Uh, that's not always a punishment or uh, a bad happening for you. It could be a realization of a new season, a new door, and something better for you. So the darkness that you
Mm-hmm.
see in this instance allows the brightness of this better circumstance to be more visible. So you can change your focus
Mm-hmm.
and hear and see God in this new season.
Right. That's amazing. Because this has been some kind of season.
Oh,
Um, some kind of season. What could you say to encourage musicians that are really going through in this season? What thoughts do you have on, that you can really share with them on going through at this time?
well, my first thought is to definitely increase your dependency on God.
Yes.
Don't look to man or
Mm-hmm.
opportunities as a source. They're
Mm-hmm.
certainly a resource.
Mm-hmm.
Um, every good and perfect gift comes from God,
Mm-hmm.
and He's our perfect Heavenly Father, so He knows
Mm-hmm.
what we need when we need it, and He won't give us more than we can handle and
Right.
cause us to be tempted above what we can really even gain from. So He
Right.
won't throw us in the fire knowing that we'll get burnt. Uh,
Right.
if if we're in a hard situation, He knows that we can handle it. So
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to get us to change our focus and
Mm-hmm.
realize that I've been dependent on this person or this job all this time, and
Mm-hmm.
he done shut the whole world down, and
Yes.
now
Yeah.
realize, okay, if I depend on him, he'll bring me through it. So
Right.
once
Mm-hmm.
you know that he's the one that's still in control, no matter what it looks like, then
Mm-hmm.
and realize the importance of having a good relationship with him and realize he's always speaking. We just have to be in the right hear him,
To hear
and
him.
he can
Mm-hmm.
prepare us for things that are coming before
Mm-hmm.
they come. I remember being in the gym,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to hate the gym. I didn't understand the purpose of it. I said, "This is just wasting time. I could
Uh-huh.
do the same thing just by walking around the house, picking up boxes, carrying my keyboard. I'm still
Mm-hmm.
working out. It's the same thing." And
Mm-hmm.
running on a treadmill one day, I heard the Lord say, "I'm preparing you for something." So I
Mm-hmm.
Hey Lord, I then got that urgency to
Mm-hmm.
go in the gym and take care of my body and eat better
Mm-hmm.
and make sure I'm in good health. And they, the news and the scientists and doctors said that Corona and COVID is having the worst effects on people that are not in good shape. If they
Yeah.
have
Right.
pre-existing conditions, then Corona and COVID has a worser effect, a
Mm-hmm.
more serious effect on them. So I
Yeah.
believe that time of working out, working hard in the gym has
Mhm.
prepared me to be able
Mhm.
to make it through this season.
Mhm.
Also, uh,
Mhm.
uh, during the touring season a few years ago, I got the inclination to prepare to be home. I wanted to have a lifestyle outside of touring and not
Mhm.
have that as my main source or primary
Mhm.
lifestyle, because people that are always on the road, always on the go, and not
Mhm.
having that home based establishment,
Yeah.
a very hard time
Yeah.
when things change.
Right.
So I believe that that was another way of God speaking to me and preparing me for such a time as this.
Yeah. Right. Because that preparation is very important.
Yes, ma'am.
Preparation is very important, and I think with the pandemic, it's caught, of course, everyone off guard with it, and especially with musicians that have been playing for churches for such a long time, and now that income has dried up. When I had Steve Ford on here, he said it would be a shame for musicians to come out of this pandemic not changed. He
Mm,
said you should learn a new instrument, learn something new, something different, but come out as a winner. Don't come out, he said, because musicians are going through and many of them having, hard times. But we're in this almost a year and we don't know if it's going to be another year or what it's going to be.
right.
We God that it's not going to be, but I think musicians and singers and those that have choirs, this is a time now to prepare to almost kind of look at things in a different way. Maybe find another talent,
Right. Yeah.
something else to do. I have a friend of mine. I had Bill Jolly on here, and he told me that he's taught himself how to create websites,
Mm,
and he also ordered some new music, for his tracks and for sounds. And he said he's doing some experimenting. He said, but God has really blessed him and opened up some doors that he can do it just at home in his studio.
yes, yes. Multiple streams of income is
Yeah,
definitely used to make right now.
yeah,
Mhm.
because it's bad when you just, and like I said, when you have to depend on one thing that you do, and it's unfortunate, that this has happened, but learn from it, just like you were saying. Because I know in one quote you were saying, a changed mind is more instrumental to progress than a new location.
So important. My God.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Had I moved to Los Angeles and not thought about the seriousness of having my health in right standings and
Mm-hmm.
my priorities straight for home, I could have easily become a bum on the street.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's so true.
People think that if they go to Los Angeles or New York or Atlanta, Georgia, that all of a sudden everything's going to work out.
Right.
And that's a lot of times not the case.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's really
You can
not.
have all the sources of income
Mm-hmm.
right where you are. Everything's going into the digital market anyway, so we shouldn't be so concerned about which club to go to so we can be seen.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly. And that's what a lot of them have done. And that's shut down too.
Amen.
God has shut down everything,
Mm-mm-mm.
throughout the country. You were saying before that you value what's given and learn from what's revealed. Elaborate on that. That's good.
Ah.
What's given and learn from what's revealed.
Mm.
Powerful statement.
Well, a lot of things that are given
Mm-hmm.
aren't always good. You can be given bad information. You can be given a bad experience.
Mm-hmm.
Be given something that throws you off course. But
Right.
you can still gain from that
Right.
if you appreciate the fact that someone is trying to give you something
Yeah.
and learn from the mistakes, apply whatever good that has come out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and try not to take everything personal and at uh, life and death uh, happenstance.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that are revealed are in God's timing and His authority.
Right.
So, whatever may have happened 10 years ago that you
Mhm.
thought was the worst thing in the world, God can reveal that that situation caused you to become a better person.
Right.
And you have to appreciate
Mm-hmm.
uh, that blessing from God, that nothing is wasted, nothing
Yeah.
happens just
Mm-hmm.
by happenstance, that everything is working for a purpose. And
Mm-hmm.
it's revealed in God's time. And
Mm-hmm.
as long as you don't give up and throw everything away, then
Right.
you can gain all of the lessons and blessings and nutrients from everything that has come your way.
Wow. That's powerful. It's really good. Now, as far as what could you say to those musicians or singers that's interested in becoming artists? And because I know we have a lot of indie artists. You don't hear as much about major record labels like we used to.
Hmm.
Down through the years, everybody was trying to get on a major record label, but now everybody's producing themselves. Buying the equipment now. The way technology is. And what can you say to musicians that are interested and almost doing like what you're doing as far as playing for an artist or you know recording their own music, or what can you encourage those that are indie artists at this time?
I would definitely say investing in your own equipment is important. Understanding the music industry is just as important.
Yeah.
A lot of the celebrities and artists, mainstream of old, are suffering and have been uh,
Yeah.
constricted, combined to terrible contracts.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All these years later, they're just now speaking out about it, and
Right.
they still can't do anything because someone didn't explain to them what these words and what these percentages and numbers mean,
Mm-hmm.
and thought it was just a blessing from God. So they signed their life away. And
Yeah.
now they are 30, 40 years later still
Mhm.
upset that they have to give all their time, effort, and money to this record label that
Yeah.
paid a little bit up front and now
Mm-hmm.
basically giving them everything. So if
Right.
you learn that on your own time,
Mm-hmm.
on your own dime, and
Mm-hmm.
invest in yourself, then you can be that record label for yourself. And you can
Yeah.
pay yourself and feed yourself and
Mm-hmm.
do everything that these other labels are doing, but charging you for the rest of your life for. And
Yeah.
uh, if you look closely at the industry right now, it's
Mm-hmm.
totally changing from the way it used to be. A lot of the top producers,
Mm-hmm.
songwriters, artists are
Mm-hmm.
selling all of their catalog to make money and to capitalize on the I I would say the richness of what was created over the past few years
Yeah.
because becoming a whole indie industry.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Nobody's buying records, CDs, and uh,
Yeah.
preparing for tour because we have
Mm-hmm.
streaming and restrictions where
Yeah.
concerts, tours are kind of obsolete right now.
Right.
So the industry is kind of shifting to a way that uh, it's more beneficial to do everything from home on
Yeah.
your own. And
Mm-hmm.
the past few years, they've been trying to find artists that already have all these things established, not so
Yeah.
much investing all this money and time into making an artist. And
Mm-hmm.
that pretty much prepared us for the time that we're in now, where if you already have all that stuff going for you, you might
Mm-hmm.
as well put all that up out yourself instead of
Right.
signing your life away to this industry.
Yeah. Because that's very important. Yeah.
Yes,
Because it's it can be rough, but it also can be rewarding. And the way we have with technology and so much equipment, and you could do things at home, and that's one way, one thing that musicians can get creative and create their own music, while they're at home, even
exactly.
doing tracks, you
Yeah,
know, doing tracks that are important, for some churches that are coming on, but they may not have the musicians, can't afford to really pay them, make tracks and sell those. So it's a number of things that we can do.
that's right.
And what about hardships that have the ability of teaching you things that book reading doesn't quite experience exercise?
Woo.
You said, let's talk about hardships that have the ability of teaching you things that book reading doesn't quite exercise.
Mm, mm.
That's
Good
amazing.
eye.
Oh my gosh.
Whew. um, I don't even know where to start. There is a natural side and there's a spiritual side. Um,
Right.
spiritually, I'll start with that.
Okay.
Reading the Bible has many benefits and it
Hmm.
prepares you for life. If
Yeah.
if if you take it at its core value and
Hmm.
keep it in context and
Hmm.
ask the Lord for revelation as you're reading and partaking of this
Hmm.
living, it will prepare you.
Hmm.
But it does not uh, give you the knowledge that experience does. Such
Yeah.
as um, when Saul was changed to Paul,
Hmm.
without his experience with God,
Hmm.
knocking him off the beast and having that time where he was partially blinded and
Hmm.
personal time with God while he was in jail,
Hmm.
he wouldn't be able to preach with such conviction.
Yeah.
The personal experience gives you the insight that other people's words doesn't have the power to do. And
Wow.
then, naturally speaking,
Hmm.
uh, relationships, for example, you
Hmm.
all the relationship books there are, and it still won't prevent hardships from coming when dealing with another person. Uh,
Yeah.
there are
That's
so many other factors. There are so many new ways of seeing it and
hmm
special conditions that
hmm
books can't possibly cover.
Yeah.
So that experience can really humble you,
Hmm.
eyes that yes, I did get the wisdom from
Right.
the book knowledge, but
Hmm.
the experience that uh, life has given me has
Mm-hmm.
taught me more, but also showed me how to apply that wisdom. So
Right.
you need both in order to actually
Yeah.
grow to a
Yeah.
place of real productivity.
Right. I agree with that. Why do you think it's so hard for musicians and people to trust others? How would you say for them to be able to find people that they can trust?
Mm, 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 mm. Woo! That well,
That trust is important.
stem.
Huh?
I can tell you where that stems from.
Okay, go
It's
ahead.
it's an old album that Israel released. I,
Mm,
it was uh, Alive in Africa, where he says in a prayer that, Lord, break my heart with what breaks your heart.
mm,
When I heard that, I said, wow, that's very interesting. I'm going
it
to add
is.
that to my prayer. Lord,
Mm-hmm.
my heart with what breaks your heart. And ever
Mm,
since then, I've been very, uh, I guess, hmm, very interested in
mm-hmm.
why somebody wouldn't trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've done everything I could to be trustworthy and
Mm-hmm.
to be upstanding and
Mm-hmm.
trust you. So
Mm,
if I haven't done anything for you not to trust me, why wouldn't you trust me? And
right.
after having those experiences with people, strangers, family, and friends,
Mm-hmm.
it hit me.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
God's been saying that to us all these years.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done anything for you not to trust me. So
Yes.
why don't you trust me? I've given you
Mm-hmm.
word, I've given you miracles, I've
Mm-hmm.
my spirit, I speak to you, yet you still need signs, you still need wonders, you still
Yes.
need time to
True.
trust someone
Mm-hmm.
that has given you everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, um,
Wow.
with that knowledge, I have
Mm-hmm.
kind of loosened up my expectations of people.
Mm-hmm.
I say, okay, God, you're long suffering and
Mm-hmm.
you understand why people don't trust you because we're human, we
Right.
have emotional issues, and
Mm-hmm.
times we base our understanding and experience with you off of our understandings and experiences with people who will
Mm-hmm.
let us down. So when we learn that God is not human and humans aren't God, He's
Mm-hmm.
in the clouds all by Himself,
That's
and we
it.
are dealing with people that were born into sin and shapen
Mm-hmm.
into iniquity. We
Right.
have to have grace and mercy, just like God has grace and mercy with us.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as we trust in the Lord with all our heart, lean not
Mm-hmm.
into our own understanding, but in all
Yeah.
our ways acknowledge Him, He will direct our paths. He will give us the right people to befriend,
Yeah.
to this with, to open up to, and to share life with. So
Mm-hmm.
He knows
That's
what,
true.
and he'll show us who to trust and who to watch from afar.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely will. It's a
Oh,
learning experience.
oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a learning experience. But if someone had put said on here, Lord break my heart, and that's what you said. It was just said, with what breaks your heart?
Oh, yes.
That's good.
That'll give you a deeper understanding of God and your relationship with Him.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What about listening and following God is the answer to life's questions?
Mm, mm, mm. My God, tonight. Well,
Yes, that's the last one. Listening to and following God is the answer to life's questions. That's
hmm.
deep.
I think with all of the downtime and seclusion from everyone else and everything,
Hmm.
allowed us to rethink life and
Yeah.
recall memories of everything that happened from birth up to now.
Hmm.
And we often feel like I didn't deserve this and I don't understand why this happened.
Hmm.
And none of this makes sense.
Yes.
But
Hmm.
the only way to find closure and answers and peace
Hmm.
is by following God and
Right.
having your ear open to Him. And
Yes.
He'll speak to you to answer those questions. And even if it's not for you to understand, He'll give you peace
Hmm.
so that you'll understand it better by and by. So
Hmm.
it's not so much of getting every answer in the world and
Hmm.
uh, trying to figure out all the secrets and the mysteries in the Bible or understand death or some of life's
Hmm.
trials. But walking and talking with God will give you the access to what you need.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
Yes,
Are
ma'am.
you preaching? Are you a minister?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Yeah. Well,
I was
it
ordained
shows.
in my father's church, and
Okay.
I took some ministers classes at the church I used to play for, uh,
Hmm.
Second Baptist Church in Atlantic City.
Hmm.
They prepared me on how to formulate a message and how to study and how to keep context and how to form the subjects and go
Yes.
with the topics and everything.
Um,
And then once I went to this new church that I play for in North Jersey, uh, they offer fully credited courses
mm-hmm.
and connection with Oral Roberts University. So I recently started taking some classes from that church so I can definitely understand more about the Bible and
Hmm.
ministry and
Hmm.
everything that there is to know about serving God and the beauty of holiness.
That's good. And I find that there are a lot of musicians that transcend over into ministry, into preaching and pastoring, and I think that, why do you think that happens? I think it's good. Why do you think that happens?
Well, I feel like musicians, singers, those that are in the front line
Hmm.
of church and spiritual duties experience God
Hmm.
and the Word in a way where they have to feed themselves.
Hmm.
And through ministering to other people,
Hmm.
you can sometimes bless yourself
Yeah.
and can be in a new place where you are open, so
Yes.
God
Yeah.
that He's,
Yes.
and you feel like I want to share all this stuff that God's been sharing with me.
Mm-hmm.
It would be robbery for me to keep it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of musicians and singers have a close relationship with the pastor
Yeah.
as to making the songs and the messages work together. And
Yes.
the pastors sometimes share with the musicians and the singers about the
Mm-hmm.
hardships of the ministry, and they feel like they can only trust them.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
working thing together. So
Right.
you feel like, you're basically
Mm-hmm.
the other
Yeah.
pilot steering
Right.
the
That's a
ship.
balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I
it
think
just,
what better way to hear from God than as a musician and playing, because we do hear Him as
yeah.
we play, as well as hearing Him as He speaks, so that we can audibly speak the word.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
it both of those two marry together, and it's a phenomenal thing to be able to do that.
Oh,
Another
yeah.
person that's like that is that Professor Gary Diggs. I'm telling you,
Oh,
he has a
woo.
lot of him on my show, and he has a book that's out, and I'm asking everyone to for Gary Diggs to go on his page, his Facebook page. I think Amazon has sold out there, but to contact him. And I love the title of his book, but he has a book, and I'm trying to. We've been missing each other as far as dates, but I'm going to bring him on so he can talk about his book. But he has a powerful word inside of him also as well, and I
Oh, yeah.
thank him for his voice, and of course for you. What has 2020 taught you? I know we're in 2021, but what last year, 2020, what did it teach you?
2020 has taught me the importance of believing in yourself and
Mm-hmm.
believing that you hear from God.
Wow.
Um, a lot of our trusted
Mm-hmm.
people, places, and things have come down to a crumble.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
and without warning, they
Mm-hmm.
can possibly be in a worse shape than some of us are that
Mm-hmm.
try to help these mega ministries and
Yeah.
mega establishments.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought about all the restaurants, all the stores, all
Mm-hmm.
the establishment that were based on uh, public service
Mm-hmm.
and human interaction and all the things that day to day activities are based on. And now all those establishments are shut down
Yeah.
because they were basing their existence off of something that they thought lasted forever.
Mm-hmm.
And God could have been speaking to the manager, the owner, the CEO, different workers saying, we need to expand this, we need to go digital, we need
Right.
to open up other streams so that we can stay in business. And
Yeah.
they could
Mm-hmm.
have their ears and said, we're doing fine. There's no way this will shut down. Everybody needs us. Do you know how much money we made last week? We ain't worried about nothing new.
Yeah.
A lot of the emphasis has been put on people, places, and things of high stature, but
Right.
God doesn't look at, titles and position. He looks at the heart. So
Right.
all those big name prophets that said nothing about what 2020 is about to bring are now looked at as false prophets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those small time people that have relationships with God and said, there's something coming in 2020 that we need to prepare for. We need to pray and fast. We need to
Hmm.
on our knees and become uh, conscious of God's voice. They
Right.
are now looked at as people of God. And
Yeah. Hmm.
I believe that everything that happened in 2020 had
Hmm.
kind of reaffirmed those thoughts inside of me where if I don't hear a confirmation from somebody else, what
Hmm.
God to me is real and is for me,
Yeah.
and I can rely on Him to speak directly to me. That I don't
Yeah.
have to pay $1,000 for a prophet when
Uh-huh.
personal relationship.
Yeah.
I believe that knowing that spiritually is very important, and also um, voicing my thoughts, needs, and wants is very
Yeah.
important. I
Yeah.
can't rely on people to automatically understand or to just get it.
Hmm.
It's important to understand and utilize
Hmm.
the avenue of communication.
Yeah.
So, body
Yeah.
language, proper wording, love languages, whatever uh, that needs to be done to get your point across. It
Yeah.
needs because 2020 could have been the worst year of your life. It could have been
Hmm.
the loneliest year of your life. It could have been
Hmm.
scariest. And if you don't know how to communicate, if you don't know how to get that emotion and that fear and
Yeah.
fusion out, you can
Right.
cause yourself more harm than the disease is doing.
Yes. Absolutely. And that's very true. Very, very true. Wow, so much tonight. So many nuggets, and I feel like I could listen more and more. Like I'm in the class. I'm in class with Tubbs.
Woo! So
Amen.
proud of
God is really using you, and it's not, we thank God for your music ability. It's phenomenal. You're a phenomenal organist, pianist, producer, and artist. But you have the word, in you, and I thank God for you as a young man, that we have the word in you. And I want to thank you so much for being my guest on tonight.
you. That pleasure is all mine. I'm so
Yeah.
honored to be here. I've heard about you all my
Oh,
life. One of my first drummers at the church, Big James Rush, used to tell me
yeah.
all the time. He said, you gotta meet Dr. Cindy Barber. She's one of the first artists I played for, and she taught me the ropes. And she
Yeah. Oh, James.
really
Yes.
play for her. Then I hung out with Thaddeus Tribbett one day, and he said, "Yeah, I used to play for Dr. Cindy Barber. She got all the juice."
Yeah, I tell you, has been good to me. And, even doing this platform, it's been phenomenal to be able to meet and allow other people to see artists up and, close,
Yeah.
and to see that they're just like us, you as well as a young musician. 'Cause I'm sure some may have wanted to know your story, and
Yes.
to meet you. And I thank God for what He's doing in your life. And I
Amen.
want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Those that are watching on YouTube tonight, we have quite a few that's there on YouTube that's watching, and those that will watch the replay for days and weeks ahead. I want to thank you tonight for being a part, and to all of you that have made this evening a success. And Tubbs, you have to come back again. I really have enjoyed you, and have
Hey,
to get you back, on here again. And just thank you so much. So we're going to say good night. I will be back on next week. I have some men that will be coming on, and we'll be talking about men taking their rightful place. So you don't want to miss that. So I want all the men to be a part and the women to watch as well. So, so any closing remarks you'd like to say before we leave?
Ah, I guess my closing remark would be to value everything that happens, value all the people you meet, because you never know who they are or who they may be connected to.
And that's
I,
so true.
I remember meeting an old lady in church, and I thought she was just a regular old lady that didn't know nobody, didn't know nothing, just loved to come to church. And she
Mm-hmm.
pulled me aside one day and said, I didn't know you were friends with my granddaughter. I saw y'all on TV the other day. I said, hold on now. I don't know what you're talking about. I said, I haven't been doing nothing. I'm saved. I stay at home and I play for God. She said,
Right.
you played a couple of Christmas tunes with Jasmine Sullivan at City Hall the other day, right? I said, that's your granddaughter?
Wow. You never know.
Never know. Yeah, she's been
Wow.
at Dad's church for so many years and
Mm-hmm.
never said anything until that one day and said, yeah, that's my granddaughter. Y'all did good. Just keep on keeping on. Keep God first now.
Right. So we're gonna do that now, right?
Amen.
That is amazing. And you, like you say, you never know. You know who's watching you. You know you don't know. So, and my mother always, taught us to be careful how you treat people when you're going up the ladder because you don't know who you may need on your way down.
Good God Almighty.
And it's very true.
Very true.
Very true.
True.
So tonight I'm going to say goodnight to everybody, and we'll see you again on next week on Real Talk with Cindy. God bless you.
God bless you and be encouraged.